Hello everyone, this is Sincere, a teacher Sincere's channel, and welcome again. Well, I had not planned to do this video. I was going to actually wait and do a video once I finish reading one of the books that I'm reading. But I had already put up a video back, I guess about 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, it was less than 2 weeks ago, because what happened over in Israel, Palestine, was less than 2 weeks ago. It was on October the 7th. Let's see, it's the 21st here. So it's, yeah. So I put up a video, and then I deleted a couple of videos because I just I wasn't satisfied with them. They were entirely too long. But it's been a really difficult week, okay? Because this time, the conflict with Palestine started even before my grandparents were born. Always people talk about 1948 because that's when the state of Israel was established. But I found out recently through a video that it goes back as far as 1883. I'll put the video in the link. Is Dr. Sam Vakanen. He is Israeli, and he has a YouTube channel about, he's a psychologist and a professor, and he talks about narcissism. But he did a video recently about he looked at the psychological component of the Jews and the Israelis and the Palestinians, and how this what has been going on for far too long, and other people, outsiders, fueling it, like my country. It's just gone on too long, and nothing should go on like this. Something so poisonous and tragic, it just shouldn't be going on like that. But we humans, we have an amazing ability to self-destruct. And really in this, I don't even blame regular people, some of them, because we have powerful people that, and their interest wants this to keep on going on forever, and it shouldn't go on forever. But you wonder, well, why are you concerned about it? You're not Palestinian, you're not Israeli, you're not Jewish, you're not Arabic, you're not Arab. Well, I'll give you some reasons why I'm concerned, and just being a human being, I should be concerned. What's being allowed to happen, it really puts a target on everyone's back in the end, the way things are going in this world. But people, so many people, the average person is so self-absorbed that they don't really think about, well, this could be me. This could be me. The current platform that I teach English on, some of my earliest students were actually Palestinian. Now, they didn't live in Palestine, or they didn't live in Gaza or West Bank or any of it. They actually lived in Jordan, and their grandparents were actually left Palestine back in 1948. They fled during the Nakba, or what the Arabs call the catastrophe, when I know bits and pieces. I'm not an expert on this, and I admit I'm going to have to educate myself even more. Now, I have read some of the history, not enough. I've read literature and poetry about it by Palestinian people, but I need to educate myself. And hopefully, God willing, next year, I'll try to add in some books. I've been considering some different authors, but it's what is going on is extremely, just so tragic. And so I had Palestinian students early on the platform that I teach. Two young men. They're Jordanian citizens, but they're Palestinians, like many people in Jordan are, including the Queen of Jordan is actually Palestinian as well. Another reason is about a year ago, this man called for a lesson He worked for the Palestinian Authority, which is actually the government for the West Bank. These areas, apparently, they have, from what I'm learning now, these areas have their different little governments, but everything is, the, Israel controls everything, and they decide basically their judge, jury, and executioner in the end. So, but I think he lived in Ramallah. He said he worked for the Palestinian Authority, just like Hamas is the government for Gaza. But he called, and I taught him one lesson, conversational English lesson, and I mentioned on my Twitter page later that night or whenever, or the next day, I can't remember, that I actually had someone call who was in the Palestinian Authority. I put this on Twitter, and then someone tweeted back to me, asked me, you teach what? And I said, I'm an English teacher. I teach English online. And it was a young woman. It was actually, older teenager in her last year in high school who lived in Gaza. And I've been in communication with her off and on for a year. When she followed me on Twitter, and then I followed her back, and she would message me every day. In the beginning, she would message me every day. She wanted to talk. She shared photos of her little nephew. She told me about her family, and she didn't say anything about politics. She just, just what are you doing? And I've been thinking about you, and and she was finishing up high school then. She started university this year, or either early or end of last year. I can't remember now. Back in August, she messaged me, and she wanted to share her grades from university with me. She was really proud about her grades, and she sent me her report card, scanned copy of her report card. And I told her, well, I can't read Arabic. I said, unfortunately, I can't. And so she, I could sort of tell about the numbers, though, because the Arabic numbers and the numbers that from the English language or whatever, and not just English language, but from westernized languages, the numbers are basically they're pretty much the same. So report card looked good. I told her, from what I can see, it looks like you're doing good. And she said, yeah, I'm doing good in all of my classes. So I think she said she went to the Islamic University in Gaza. But the situation over there is so complex. I haven't heard from her today. I haven't heard from her today. I did hear from her twice yesterday. I'm really at a loss for words. But I've just been so sad, angry. I don't support Hamas. I don't support the government here or the Israeli government. I don't support any of them, because in the end, it's the regular people that always get hurt. And I've just seen video. I spent like 4 days looking at videos of just horrors that are going on in Gaza. Dead children, dead babies, dead women, people carrying or collecting their children's body parts. I just, I have to say, I've lost a lot of respect for humanity. I really have. I know I shouldn't even be this way, because I am a Christian person. And we have to forgive, but I've just really given up on humanity. I'm 61 years old, and I was listening to a young Saudi woman, Farah. She talked about it. She has a huge channel. She's only made a few videos. She has a massive channel. And I'll link to her video about what she called it, Palestine. But she says she just feels like, she wish she could just die with them. I can understand the feeling. I'm not Arab. I admit, I really do like Muslim people and I like Arab people. Now, I've lived in Turkey. I've had online Arab friends. And I just, their intelligence, their intellect, it's just, they just have my respect. And I like the high standards that they have on things. But it's so tragic. And now that the government, the country that I live in, my country has been in war most of its 47 years, or either been supporting a war. And, it hurts that they, every move that they're trying to not, they're not even giving peace a chance. They're pushing everything to keep this war going. And, war is not about what they often say. It's always other motives for it. There's gas possibly to be had in Gaza. I will try to remember to link an article from the New Arab that was written a few years ago talking about Israeli and American plans for there's gas like in the area. And but the videos are just unimaginable. The chaos in the hospitals, the dead babies, the dead children, injured people, seeing people fleeing. They told people to leave. And there were videos of people leaving on foot, cars, buses, with their luggage, with their mattresses. It's just so sad. I haven't seen anything this bad since videos I've seen of Homs, Syria, that was destroyed in the war, the Sea of Homs. Pictures I saw years ago of people fleeing the war in Iraq. It was less on the internet back then, but it's just hard to even, it's just hard to even fathom. So my young friend in Gaza, who I haven't heard from her today. I heard from her twice yesterday. Last thing she sent me was a channel by, I don't know if I guess he's an Islamic scholar. And I thanked her for it because I told her I listen to both speakers that are Muslim and Christian. I lean more Eastern Christianity more than Western Christianity. I think Eastern Christianity is much more closer. They have higher standards. You can't just, do what you want. If you go to these Eastern Orthodox churches, you can't just, I know like you can't even marry a person that's of another faith. You have to marry someone which is within that church. But it's just, but I can understand the young Arab woman Farah was saying about, you just feel like you want to die with them. And you just, she's much younger than me. She's a young woman. I mean, she's young, very young. But I've seen so much and heard so much in my lifetime that I just feel tired. Sometimes I said, Lord, I'm just so tired. I'm just, tired at this point. It's not that, of course I wouldn't want to commit suicide. No, certainly wouldn't do that. I can't do that. But I understand how serious what has been going on in this world in the last number of years. We have very dangerous people running this world, and things that they have imposed on Western society, which should never have been imposed, and people just go right along with it. It's enough indication to me that we're dealing with something extremely dangerous. And I understand myself. I feel that it's a bigger target on my back more than just for being a quote black person. Being a devout Christian who is not going to bend, uh, even if it gets to the point of persecution, which it will. Um, I'm at a point in my life. I'm just like, Lord, if if I have to be martyred for your faith, like the early Christians, I'm ready. I'm really ready, because I'm not going to bend to any of this nonsense that's going on in this world. I can't compromise. It's been too much of a struggle in my life to get to the point where I have spiritually. And, it's not surprising when some of the same people that has put obscene things in the schools here in the West and say this is what the kids need to learn, and the parents just go right along with it. These are some of the same people that are pushing war and murder against these children. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I don't support Hamas. I don't support any political structure. I'm apolitical. But it's just the things I've seen in the I haven't looked much at it in the last 2 days, but for 4 days, nobody should have to see that. Nobody should see that. No parent should have to see their child go through that. To see babies be left, the only member of their family left. Whole families getting wiped out. It got to be such a heavy burden to look at. I had to stop, because I'm getting to where I feel like that my spirit is just leaving me. That I'm just dying inside for these people. And I know some people were saying, I know there was a young Jewish woman. She was saying, she said, how can people just go and post food and things on their social media and act like this is not happening? It doesn't matter. Well, there's a lot of people that have lost their humanity. It really is. The Bible speaks of in the end times that the love of many would grow cold. And it's been, I've noticed things since a young person. I've noticed a lot of things that a lot of people now are seeing, years later, that things were not in a good state for a lot of human beings. And a lot of people have lost their humanity. And they can't see anything beyond themselves. We have a massive amount of mental illness in this world now. I was speaking to a young Chinese woman several months ago, and she was talking about how mental illness is a big issue in China. She said, I quit my job because she saw herself sinking. And she decided to start her own thing. She said, I'm going to start selling electric car batteries. She said, my colleagues, my coworkers, they would be, so, crying and just couldn't deal with stress or anything. How we have to live, this rat race, this constant worry about money and things. And am I going to be able to keep a roof over my head? And, all this stuff, it damages people. It damages people in a way, people think, oh, this is a normal way to live. We weren't supposed to live like this. We really weren't. And I was listening to Dr. Sam Vaknin, and he was talking about, how the people in Israel, Palestine are victims. And these rich people they do so much manipulation through their media, through the people, their minions that support them, the people that, regular people that identify more with rich people than they do with their peers that are just, in a certain, that are not rich people. They identify with them. And it's just really very bizarre, a lot of the things. And people are so incredibly lost in this world. I see so much of it, like on a daily basis. I am fortunate that many of the people that I teach some have their issues. Some of them have been, a lot of people have been propagandized in one way or another about different things. And I haven't looked at television since 2011, and I have no intention of ever watching television again. But some people, some of the people that I teach, their heads are pretty level. They sort of get it. They get it. They may not get everything, but they get it. But the way that things are so corrupt now and so warped that it's hard. You have to be really strong and very watchful and observant, because you can easily be taken down the drain in this. But yes, those children in Gaza, they shouldn't be paying. I mean, these babies and kids, they don't know what Hamas is. This thing about everybody is a terrorist. Half the population of that city, that area, are children. And the babies and the young children, they don't know these young children, they don't even know what Hamas is. So why should they be punished? Why should anybody be punished? I mean, it's just, but I do have to say, I don't have much hope for a large portion of humanity. I really don't, because they're trying to work on their own strength. And, I know as a Christian person, you just can't do it. It's too hard in this world and too complicated to try to do this on your own. And I don't have a lot of hope for a lot of humanity, but I do have hope for some. But I just say I'm going to end in just a little bit, but I'm going to end in just a bit. I just want to say, work hard to not lose your humanity in this. And care about people. Don't just care about yourself. Care about the innocents. And start thinking about the things in this world that's not right. And don't become a part of the problem. I don't want to be a part of the problem. People tell me, like my students, teacher, you're so nice. You're so, you're such a good person. I was helping out, I guess I consider him a friend. He lives in Mardin, Turkey, and he's another teacher. He's a teacher. And he's one of the indigenous Arabs of Turkey. He's not a refugee. He's indigenous. His people have lived there, I guess, way back from probably Christ's time or before. But he had wanted some information. I sent him some information, for some learning materials, some information for his son. And I always have to laugh when he tells me, "You're so nice." He says, "You're so nice." And I do it because I've set a high standard for myself. And of course I fail. I make mistakes. I get angry, and stuff. And I say things sometimes about people that are really people that are very weak, and they need more compassion. I hope if I continue to live that I will develop, that I won't be impartial, that I will be I will be impartial about my compassion. When I was 18 years old, I started realizing that there was a lot wrong with this world. And I really, I had planned I was going to go to university, but really I didn't. I really wanted to become a nun. I did. I actually visited one of the hospitals in my town is a Catholic hospital, and they have a convent behind it. And I went there, and I was like 18 years old, 17 years old. I think I was 17. And I made friends. They had one black nun there, and the rest of the nuns, she was young. I think the youngest person there, and the others were old white nuns. And but they were telling me that I was too young at my age to really make that kind of decision. Since that time, I've learned about Orthodox Christianity. And if I had a choice, if I could do it, I was going to church an hour away to a Coptic Orthodox church with mostly Egyptian people. There were some Eritrean people there. But if I had a choice, if I didn't have some other things going on, I would definitely just, give all of it up, and just become a nun, an Orthodox nun. I would love to be a nun in the Middle East and just stay there. Maybe my job would be help refugees and paint icons and just pray for humanity. Humanity needs to really be prayed for now. We're going into a very dark time. And I don't think it's going to end with Gaza. I think it's only going to get worse. People say, oh, I hope, each year people say, oh, I hope this year will be better. Last year was hell. I think at this point, this juncture, it's just not going to get better. And, and I'm going to be honest with you, I may have to give up my life. They may take my life, because I am a devout Christian. I'm not going to give in to their stuff. I'm just not. I made that decision quite some time ago. So I'm not worried, and I'm not worried about it because, like I said, I'm not in love with this world. I mean, it's nothing to be in love with. It's nothing, but I do feel good. One good thing I feel about this world, I am here to help people. My job is to help people. I never did marry, and I see now that my job was to help people, high and try to be the best person I can. And, so yeah, I just say that just don't try to set a high standard for yourself, and don't fall for all this hatred and ignorance and bigotry and fear and narcissism and greed. And just try not to hurt yourself and try not to hurt others. And just set a high standard for yourself, because a lot of people just don't. And a lot of people, they've been told so much in this world that we're animals. We're just mammals. We're just animals. And people have sunk really worse than animals. Some people have. And so I just wanted to say that. But I'm going to end here. I think the direction I'm going to be taking my channel is mostly just books, and also occasionally make some little short documentaries or things like that. But and sometimes do some talks like this. But I think that's about it for me. But I'm going to end here. I hope you enjoyed this video and really pondered some of the things that I'm saying. I feel like I'm rambling along, but really pondered some of the things I've said, and maybe apply them. So this is Sincere. Until next time.